Hi, my name's Sandy. I'm going to tell you my favourite New Zealand sporting story. It concerns a gentleman, one of only 6, I think, who played both codes at international level for New Zealand. When I say both codes, I mean rugby and cricket, of course, other codes. This basically is a story of the All Blacks and the New Zealand one-day cricket side. We're going to go back to 1978 when the Welsh are touring, the All Blacks are touring Great Britain. They had lost to Munster on that tour. A couple of weeks later they were playing the Welsh at Cardiff Arms Park. Now the Welsh at Cardiff Arms Park in that era were pretty much unbeatable. I think 1968 to 1982, 14 years undefeated, 27 matches apart from one blip to the All Blacks in 1972 I think it was. Anyway, 1978 they're playing the All Blacks, they are winning, the Welsh are very joyous. It's a couple of minutes to go on the clock, and then suddenly we find Andy Hayden and Frank Oliver strewn on the floor in a line out. Not a finger had been laid on Andy Hayden as far as we could see, and many sort of believe the Welsh absolutely going ballistic at this blatant piece of horrific cheating, which frankly it was. Not a finger being laid on him, he's on the floor looking for a penalty. But I actually believe the penalty was awarded for something that happened to Frank Oliver behind him, but the Welsh didn't see that. What they saw was absolutely outrageous cheating. So the penalty is awarded, the fullback walks up, tight kick, no pressure, minute or so to go, kicks the penalty is awarded, the All Blacks win by 1 point, 13-12. The Welsh go puce, they are incandescent and probably still are to this day, to be fair. Fast forward a few years to 1981, we're playing the Australians in a one-day cricket series. We didn't beat them very often in those days, we still played in beige. And in the first innings of the third match of the series is tied. Okay, the first innings, we don't like Greg Chappell very much, so those of a certain age will remember. He was caught out by Martin Snedden, and it would be the only people in the stadium who weren't watching where the ball went with the umpires, and the catch wasn't awarded. TV replay showed it was awarded, it was a proper catch. Greg Chappell didn't ask if he'd been caught, and he didn't walk, he went on to score 90 or so. Second innings, we're at the business end of the match, we're at the last over, and Greg Chappell has got his sums wrong, and instead of having his star bowler Dennis Lillee bowling the last over, we have his somewhat less talented brother Trevor. Sir Richard Hadlee is facing, he wasn't a Sir then of course, he was just Richard Hadlee, our greatest cricketing hero, and he's on strike. Bruce Edgar's at the other end on 102, the most unremarked century in for one-day history. So Richard Hadlee faces a ball, hits a 4, next ball is LBW, which was not what we wanted. I think we had 10 or so runs to get, 5 balls to go, that's doable. Ian Smith, who went on to be a legendary All Black wicketkeeper, New Zealand cricket team wicketkeeper, went on to bat. The commentators couldn't decide if he could bat or not, and he scored a couple of 2s, I think some very good running between the wickets, but then he was clean bowled by Chappell, going for a big hit. So what we have now is 1 ball left, a batsman spare, but the batsman coming out to face the last ball of the match. We need 6 runs to tie the match and the series, therefore. Greg Chappell, who remember we already don't like very much, instructs his less talented brother Trevor to bowl the ball along the ground. Even Rod Marsh is behind the stumps going, no mate, like this. So he does. The crowd, literally, I almost had a head explosion. I was at home watching it on the television. I could not believe what I was seeing. I mean, after the match, the New Zealand Prime Minister of the day, Rob Muldoon, said it was the most cowardly act he'd ever seen on a sports field. Aussie commentating legend Richie Benaud said it was a disgraceful act by an Australian captain and the worst thing he'd ever seen on a cricket pitch. But, so the batsman, he hit the ball, basically defended it, threw his bat away, and was censored for unsportsmanlike conduct. We're all going ballistic. Most controversial moment ever in the history of cricket. The man who faced that ball that day was Brian McKechnie, the same guy who kicked the goal at Cardiff Arms Park back in 1978, the 2 most controversial moments in New Zealand sporting history, the same guy at the business end of the pair of them. I think that's amazing. Tell your friends.